So as we go to the chitas of the day, today is Erev Yontiv. Today is Monday, 14th day of Tishrei, and we are holding in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 33, verse number 8. Levi Amar, and to Levi he said, to Mecha Levi Lecha Leish Chasidecha. He said, your two Umim and your Urim belong to your pious man. Asher Nesiseh b'masa, which you have tested at Ma'asa, Teriveya or Meriba, and when you tried at the waters of Meriba. So that's the Levi Amma. What means to Levi? He said, Al Levi Amma means on Levi. He said this on the tribe of Levi. He said to Mecha v'Yerecha. Here Moshe is addressing the Shechina, the present is talking to God. That the Eibishter gave him the Urim Tumim, who tested the Urim Tumim is the breastplate, which rests on the Kohen, and who tested him at Master, who spoke in the praise of the Levites, for they did not complain with the others who complained, the Levites, the tribe of Levi. To Nevehu, this is understood as a tiger rends it, namely, you tested him, Levi, at the waters of Meriba, and he came out faithful. Another explanation is, whom you tried at the waters of Meriba. You made false accusations against him, Levi, for if Moshe was punished, if Moshe was punished with death and not permitted to enter the land of Israel, because he said to Israel, listen now, you rebels. Then how do we understand why Aaron and Miriam were also punished with death and were not permitted to land of Israel? They did not deserve this. So why were they punished? So here we see that Tiriveu is you brought upon us an alila. You brought upon the tribe of Levi a challenge. Who says to his father and his mother, I did not see him. And to his brother he said, I don't recognize him. And his children he did not know. Because they observe your words, and they keep your covenant. And Rashi says, who says to his father and mother, I do not see. Moshe Rabbeinu says, when Israel sinned at the calf, I said, who is for the Lord? Come to me. All the sons of Levi assembled to me. I ordered them to kill those guilty of the worship of the golden calf, even ones whose father and mother, if he was an ordinary Israelite and not a Levite, or his brother from his mother, he had a brother, half brother from his mother. If his brother from his father was not a Levite, or the son of his daughter, whose husband was not a Levite, and they did so. So here they went against their own family. It's however impossible to explain. This means literally his father and his brother, because they were Levites. If he was a Levite, then his father was a Levite, because he's a Levite because of his father. So it must be his father, that is his father, who's married to his mother, stepfather. All these Levites, and no one in the tribe of Levi sinned. They observe your words, you shall not have other gods. Bris Mila, name of the covenant of circumcision. For the ordinary Israelites who were born in the desert did not circumcise their sons. Where the tribe of Levi were not only circumcised themselves, but they also circumcised their sons. Yoru mishpatecha leYaakov. He shall teach your ordinance to Yaakov. V'seirascha leYisrael, the Torah to Israel. Yesimu ketorah ba'apecha. They'll place incense before you, and burnt offerings upon your altar. So Rashi says, what do you mean they shall teach your ordinance? Because they're worthy to be educators in the Jewish people. And they'll bring offerings in the Beis Hamikdash. Verse 11, Baruch Hashem Chele. May God the Lord bless his army. Will follow Yard tits and favor will accept the work of his hands. Achatz Masnaim. Strike the loins of those who rise up against him. Umisanav Yikabun. And his enemies, so they will not recover. So that's just strike those who rise up against him in the loins. Similarly to what it says, constantly cause their lives to slip. Here Moses referring to those who contest the priesthood. Another explanation, Moshe saw prophetically that the Chashmonaim and his sons were destined to wage war with the Greeks. He therefore prayed for them because they were few in number. Namely, that was the Kehanim. He therefore prayed for them that they would be few in number, namely the 12 sons of Chashmonaim and Eliezer against many myriads of the enemies. As Moshe said, may the Lord bless their armies, favor accept the work of their hands. So he prayed for what was going to happen in Hanukkah many 100,000 years later. Strike the loins of those who rise against him and his enemies so that they will have no recovery. Verse 12. And then he said to the tribe of Benjamin, Yedid Hashem Yishkei Leveta Achala. The Lord, beloved one, shall dwell securely beside him. Chayfetz alav kol hayom. He protects him all day long. Uben kseifa of shachen, he dwells between his shoulders. So since Levi's blessing pertains to the sacrificial services, Binyamin's blessing pertains to the building of the Holy Temple. Because the building of the Holy Temple, the Beis Hamikdash, was in his territory. So Moshe Rabbeinu puts the two together, Levi and Binyamin together. Levi did the service and Binyamin was the location. Joseph too had a sanctuary built on his territory. Namely, the Mishkan of Shiloh was erected in his territory. As it said, he rejected the tent of Joseph because the Holy Temple was dearer to God than the Mishkan, Shiloh. So that's why he mentions it by Binyamin and not by Joseph, even though the tribe of Joseph had the tabernacle by him for hundreds of years. But ultimately, the Beis Hamikdash is in the tribe of Benjamin. Chafetz Olav. So therefore, God protects him. He covers him to protect him. Alayim. Forever. Since the time Jerusalem was chosen for the building of the Holy Temple, which is in his territory, Benjamin, divine presence has never dwelt elsewhere. Ubank safe of Shachem, he dwells in between his shoulders. The Holy Temple is built on the high point of Benjamin's land, except that there was 23 cubits below the Etzem well. Now David intentioned to build it there at the level of the Etam well, as taught in the Shchitas HaKodshim. However, they said that David, let us build a little lower. As Scripture states, he dwells between the shoulders, which are lower than the head. And there's no part of the ox more beautiful than its shoulders. So he's not in the head he's not at the exact top of the mountain. Zion is actually higher, but he was on the shoulders, so to say, of the territory of Benjamin. So we know the Beis Hamikdash actually split in the middle between the tribe of Benjamin and the tribe of Judah. And it's in both of their territories. But the actual Beis Hamikdash was in the tribe of Benjamin. We are going to go, this ends the Chumash of the day. We're going to go to the letter of the Rebbe. We're holding the Tanya day, the 21st letter of the Rebbe, the Alter Rebbe, which the Alter Rebbe is writing about giving tzedakah every single day and giving it with a great alacrity, with a great excitement to like Avraham Avinu, who did things with a great excitement. The Alter Rebbe, indeed, we find in the service of Tzavav comes we find in the concept of tzedakah, Maila Pratis. We find a particular great in the flaw and incomparable wondrous virtue. We find that tzedakah can be done many times. You only can put on tefillin one time. You can't put on tefillin 10 times during the day. But you can give tzedakah 10 times during the day. And whoever does so frequently is praiseworthy. Not only one time and all at once, but even when the total sum is the same. You can give $1 and you give 10 cents every hour. So it's giving it 10 cents every hour is more preferable. Even then, it's more preferable to give the same amount of a long period on numerous occasions. So it's better to give tzedakah every day. So you take if you don't have money to give one shot, you give it every day. Every day, give it a little tzedakah. As Maimonides, the Blessed, wrote in his commentary, the following Mishnah, that everything is going to the multiplicity action, as opposed to the stature of the deed. Everything is according to how many times you do it. On this, my Mishnah, my man explained that though a one-time donation of, say, 1,000 guldens is truly praiseworthy, the trait of benevolence does not thereby become embedded within the donor's physique to the same extent if he were to give the same 1,000 coins one at a time. So if you take the 1,000 coins, instead of giving 1,000, and you divide it into 365 days of the year, that would be better. Because then you did tzedakah every single day. Instead of giving tzedakah one time, you gave tzedakah every single day. So that's much better. That's why the Rebbe, the Lubavitcher Rebbe, instituted a concept of Keren Hashana, which to give tzedakah which the organization gives tzedakah for you every single day. And you can give a penny a day, or you can give $1 a day, or 18, whatever you want to make it the amount. And then this organization, that's an organization in New York, Chabad, would give this organization, Americans, the main office at 770 has this fund, and it gives tzedakah. Like example, I gave 18 cents a day. It comes out to $69 the whole year, 69 something for the entire year. So they give 18 cents a day for me tzedakah. And even though I give tzedakah, I come to shul, but they give 18 cents a day. So I know every day, my tzedakah is given by me every single day. And I'm mekayim the mitzvah tzedakah, whether I gave it over here in the shul or I didn't. I'm covered by giving tzedakah every single day. It's called Keren Hashana, and it's a wonderful thing that people should do. And now, every organization needs the bigger check, but to give every day tzedakah is a big mitzvah. Now, apart from the underlying reason for this, Moshe Maimonides, a blessed memory, clearly explains in order to refine the soul by the means of multiplicity of action. So that is also a spiritual reason. That you do something many times, not just one time, but many times refines the human being. In an explicit verse, the scripture states, the pasuk says, "Pa'ulas daka l'chai." The effect of tzedakah is for life. What does that mean? In his notes, embedded in the conclusion of the Hebrew edition of Tanya, so here the Rebbe refers to the reader to the following two verses in Proverbs. You find Pu'ulas tzaddik l'chaim. The effect of a tzaddik is for life. And in Proverbs 11:19, we find Cain's daka l'chaim. So too is tzedakah for life. Accordingly, the Rebbe notes that after the Rebbe's citation of the three words, Pu'ulas daka l'chaim, the effect of tzedakah is for life as a part of an explicit verse is problematic because we don't have such a verse. We have either pulas tzadik l'chaim or tzedakah l'chaim. So the Alter Rebbe seemingly puts two verses together. Seemingly this difficulty could be resolved by the interpretation thus. Since the effect of a tzaddik is tzedakah, the spirit of the verse, God is a tzaddik. He loves the act of tzedakah. So that's why the Alter Rebbe puts the two verses together. The verse which states that the effect of a tzaddik is for life, in fact, seeks to imply that the effect of tzaddik versus tzedakah is for life. The note by the Rebbe, however, apparent that this interpretation is unsatisfactory, for surely an explicit verse should be explicit without resort to interpretation. So the Rebbe stays by a question with the Alter Rebbe statement, Pu'ulas daka l'chaim. He says, the pasuk says, where is the pasuk? Pu'ulas daka l'chaim. The effect of daka is for life. But the Alter Rebbe, always arguing, no, what the Alter Rebbe does. Shapulas zegulas lam shechayim. The Alter Rebbe says this means the effect of a mystical consequence of tzedakah is illicit. Laham shechayim is to elicit and draw down supernal life, the fountainhead of life. Ein soy baruch hu from God Himself. La'eretz hachayim, to a land of life. And what's the land of life? That is Eretz Yisrael. So in the interpretation over here, the Sfiras of Malchus, of the world of Atzilus, is known as the land of life. We learned that in the Tanya before. Because relative to more heavenly levels, is the lowest level within the world, within that world, is known as the land of life, because it provides life to all created beings. And the three lower worlds of Bri Yitzir Asir, that's why Malchus is called the land of life, because it gives life to the world. The effect of tzedakah then is to draw down life-giving divine energy into the recipient or the feminine attribute called Malchus of Atzilus, the source of life, the fountainhead of life. And it's called Zah, which is the last levels within the world of Ein Sof, or the infinite. The name Zah is an anchor with Zeir Ampet, meaning the bracket of 6 masculine midas, or motive attributes of Atzilus. So we're drawing down Zah into Malchus. This yichud of the masculine and feminine is the supernal human spoken below. So you have the masculine is the 6 midot of Chesed, Gevurah, Tiferes, Netzach, Yesod. And we, by our act of charity, we bring down this masculine entity into the feminine, into Malchus, which gives life to the world. And that's why Malchus is considered Eretz HaChayim, the land of life. He Shechina Soizenu. That's why the land of life is called the Shechina. Land of life, which is Malchus, is called the Shechina. Shechina is the presence of God, which gives us strength, meaning the divine presence that animates and fortifies created beings. It is which is said, you animate them all through the Sfiras HaMalchus for the attribute of kingship. And it starts off with the attribute of kingship in the world of emanation. The word Ata, you, Ata and you, alludes to the Sfiras HaMalchus, the source of God's created speech in the world of Atzilus. For its spelling indicates all letters from Aleph till Taf. Ata is Aleph Taf. From the first letter of the alphabet to the last. While the letter Hey is numerically given to 5, alludes to the 5 organs of the verbal verbal speech, the source of all the letters. So in Ata, you have the whole. That's why Ata you is symbolic to the Sfiras HaMalchus, because the Sfiras HaMalchus contains everything. It's the receiver of everything, and it's the giver of speech. It's the Hey, the giver to the next world. He Sukkah's David and fellows that offer the Shechina is identified by the Sukkah of David that has fallen down to the very dust during the time of exile. And that's what we pray actually in the holiday of Sukkot, Harachamam, that the Eibusha should rebuild the sukkah of David that fell down. So that's the sukkah of David. Where's the sukkah of David? That's in Sfiras HaMalchus. David is Malchus. David is kingship. So the Sfiras HaMalchus that came down into the world, even in the time of Galus. As our sages said, Galu le'Edom, when they went into exile of Edom, which we're in the exile of Edom, Shtineiman, the Eibush is with them. So God is with them. His Sfiras HaMalchus is still here. So accompanying them in all their wanderings throughout the last lowest exile of ours. The Shekhinah has thereby been humbled down to the lowest depths. At a time like this, acts of tzedakah can regenerate it within the infinite life that they elicit from the fountainhead of life. So that's why today tzedakah is more powerful than anything else. Because in a time of we're in Gullus, the most powerful thing that can elicit a greater light in this time is the power of tzedakah. Because through tzedakah we because of the arousal which man initiates from below, to revive the spirit of the humble, the pauper, the lesser megamei klum that has nothing from his own. So Layla elicits an arousal from above. So it awakens up Sfiras HaMalchus, because Sfiras HaMalchus is like the pauper. Sfiras HaMalchus is the receiver. So by us helping the receiver, the poor man here, who is the receiver, we help the poor man, so to say, above, which is the receiver. And that's like here, the ultimate way of getting is by giving. So too, Sfiras HaMalchus is the ultimate by receiving. Since he's a receiver and he's humbled to be the receiver, he's the ultimate giver. So the quoted phrase describing the poor is really advisedly borrowed from the Kabbalistic description of the Shekhinah as the Sfiras HaMalchus of Atzilus, which is nothing of its own, but it was given to it by others, meaning by the highest Sfiras. He's like a poor man. Similar phrase quoted above that highlights the fact that mortal man's charitable initiative is reviving the spirit of the poor neighbor. Does not merely echo or parallel the charity with which the Ein Sof revives the humble Shekhinah. It's quite literally activated. Tzedakah then draws down life from the fountain of the life of the spirit of HaMalchus of Atzilus, which is also known the land of life. And especially when you're not only giving tzedakah, but you're giving tzedakah to the land of life, to the land of Israel. Right? So geographically, the land of life corresponds to the heavenly land of life, which we mentioned in a previous letter. Is that Eretz Yisrael is exactly receives its connection from Malchus Atzilus. But Daila Maven, and it'll be suffice. This will be suffice to those who understand. Whoever is enlightened as to so great and wondrous a matter, meaning the cosmic dynamic trace above, whereby an act of tzedakah draws down supernal life from the blessed Ein Sof to animate the exile of the Shekhinah, Yimtza Tov V'Tav, he will discover and appreciate. He will appreciate what the sages said. Hakol Ifreva Maisa. Everything is judged according to multiplicity of action. The sages will talk about the act of charity. Hanasim Pamadabas can done many times. The more you give tzedakah, the more you're gonna derive from the infinite, you're gonna bring about a revelation of God. The Yachid Yichel Yom Pamadabas is to repeatedly bring about the supreme unification of God and His Shekhinah. The Yachid Kutsha B'Lichut should connect the infinite with Malchus. B'hainu mashekai mashekosam Rambam. This is what the Rambam writes, that tzedakah lezachich es hanefesh. Tzedakah refines the soul, because tzedakah, the Alter Rebbe can explain. These words allude well to unification, and whereby affects the world, are thereby affected in the world above. As it's known in Zohar, the Shechina Nika Nefesh, that the Shechina is called Nefesh. Ki chayenu v'nafshenu, as it says, you are our life and our soul. So the Shechina is called Nefesh. Uksiv ki shachal af nafshenu. Our souls have been stooped to dust, which alludes to the descent of the Shechina, the Nefesh, into this world. And therefore our sages said, greatest charity, which brings the near the redemption. It raises up the Shechina that's in Galus with us. It raises him up, ma'at, stage by stage, elevates him step by step. At kiyave Shila, until Shiloh will come. Shiloh means Mashiach, until Mashiach comes. At that time, the Shechina will be reinstated to its pristine state. That completes the Tanya of today. And the day, the Tillim of the day, today is the 14th day of the month. The Tillim of the day is chapter 72, 73, 74, 75. So 72 to 75, and you would do the chitas of the day. The next 2 days are Yontiv. Tuesday and Wednesday is Yontiv. So the next time we'll learn chitas together will be on Thursday. I want to wish you all a Chag Sameach as we go into the Yontiv of Sukkot. It's called Zman Simchaseinu, time of our joy. I want to wish everybody a wonderful and happy Yontiv. It should bring you unbelievable joy and happiness in your life. And we should dance for this Yontiv throughout the entire year. And ultimately, through our acts of charity, we should dance all together, Latseinu Agdesha, to the Holy Land. Rachamanu Yakum Sukkah's David and the Fleless, may the Sukkah of David that has fallen down be rebuilt. And that's the ultimate rebuilding of the Beis Hamikdash and the coming of Mashiach b'mheira b'yameinu mamish.
Amen.
Wonderful,
Yay.
beautiful, happy, gorgeous Yontif. God bless you all.
You too, Rabbi, and your family,
Have a good
and
Yontif.
everybody. Amen.